Hi, I'm back. Why do I find this like so incredibly awkward? It's been a bit, especially since I've like done an intro to a video, because I have filmed clips here and there, but this part, it's been a while. Anyways, hi, my name is Sarah Freshly and welcome to my channel, Freshly Read Books. So this is going to be my first video back, even though I've filmed videos in between that I really just need to edit. So I just kind of wanted to do like a little update to start this off. But if you're only interested in TBR Spin, that's totally fine. I totally understand. There will be like little chapter timestamps, all that good stuff. But for those of you that are interested in what I've been up to for the past 2 months, I moved. This is my new office. We live in Denver now, in Colorado, so moved from Florida to here, and it's been amazing. We're experiencing spring, this little thing called spring. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It feels like I never have. Even though I did technically live in somewhere with seasons before, it's just been a while. It's been a long summer and I'm excited to see literally any other season. But yeah, I haven't posted in a while because the move mostly, but also my work got insanely crazy. Like 2 of the biggest projects I've ever worked on were happening at the same time and during the move. Plus I was finishing up my master's degree, which I have finished. I don't think officially graduated yet, and I don't know when they send me my degree, but I've finished all my coursework. I've passed. I have all the credit hours, so whatever that means. And then also I haven't really been reading. I would say about a week to a week and a half ago is when I really started to get back into the routine of reading consistently, which has been great. I'm so happy that that's like now becoming a part of my life again, because it felt really empty without it. But I still need to get over that last hump of getting editing to be a part of the routine again. And so that's what I'm trying to get to now. But I plan on getting back to like uploading weekly at a minimum and being active here again. It's never something I planned on stopping. In fact, I really thought that I was going to be able to upload like through the move. I don't know who I thought I was, but that just ended up not being the case. It's really easy when you haven't been uploading for a while to be like, okay, next week. But now that it's TBR Spin, I'm like, all right, I gotta upload one for this. And I'm excited to use that to push me back into what my routine was. So that being said, TBR Spin, if you don't know what it is, Jill from the Book Bully and I do this like reading challenge where at the beginning of the year we pick 12 books that go into the TBR Spin stack, and then every month we spin a wheel that leads us to a prompt. We use that prompt to pick one of the books on our stack ideally, and then we read it for the month. So you can join in at any time. So even though it is May, that this prompt is for May, all you need to do is select 8 books and then you can start now. So I wanted to talk about my last couple of books, because the last time that I did a TBR Spin, I hadn't read the book from the previous month, which usually I do like my little catching you up on how my reading's going, like how my TBR Spin is going in the prompt videos that I do. So I figured we could do that. So this would have been my February pick. So the prompt for February was to read a book that makes you feel like you are out in the sun, which I can't remember if I said on here that basically I ended up changing the book that I had initially picked, which was Elena Knows. Not Elena Knows. I've read that already. It's one of my favorite books. It's Claudia Pineto's second book, A Little Luck. But I ended up switching to be You Have a Friend in 10A, which is a collection of short stories by Maggie Shipstead, because the cover did give me a little bit of sunshiny feels. Also, short stories in the sun seemed like something. And it's by Vintage, so it has like the little sun on the spine. Also, I really liked the idea of reading this while on a plane, and I knew that I was going to be taking it with me when I came to just visit this place before we actually moved, which is when I started reading it, like over 2 months ago at this point. And I finished it today. This took me so long to read. So Maggie Shipstead, I've read 2 books by her, and that's Great Circle, which is one of my favorites, and Astonish Me, which I thought was pretty good. This one was really hit or miss for me. There were some stories that I really liked, particularly 2, and I would say even 3. Acknowledgements, which is the second story, it gave me strong Joe from You vibes, like the You series, and I liked that, like the almost like pompousness, condescension of like a writer, a male writer. I don't know, there's something about that that's like consistently hilarious to me. The titular story, You Have a Friend in 10A, it reminded me a lot of the documentary on like the docuseries on Nexium, the cult, and I won't say more than that. There was just something about the person, the like narrator in it, that reminded me a lot of one of the people that was in that cult. And then Backcountry, the last story, was also pretty good. Everything else was kind of just meh for me. There was a few that I felt pretty bored by like the whole time and like wasn't really invested. And then right at the end, it kind of gave me a punch, but then it felt like almost like the story was being written only for that ending. And I don't know. But also I can admit that it might have all just been because I had been moving and I was very busy while I was reading this. It might not be this book, it might be me, is what I'm saying. There was a line from the story Lambs, which overall I didn't really like as a story, but I did think that it had a pretty good ending. And this line I really liked, which was, they were the kind of people to say whatever nasty thing was nearest at hand and assume it was clever because it was nasty. I thought that that was a really funny quote. But yeah, overall I ended up giving this a 2.75 stars. And then the next month, March, the prompt was to read a book that will heal you. I ended up selecting Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, which I have not read yet, because I thought that it would heal the fact that I hadn't read it, and I feel like I should have as like a book reader. Also, it's a very short book, and so it felt like the perfect thing for what I needed in that moment because I just had no time to read. However, I really had no time to read it. I did not read it. I still haven't even started. I haven't opened it at all. I'm still planning on reading it this month. I have about a week left of the month to read it, so it's still hopefully gonna happen without being like pushed into yet another month's TBR. But yeah, I haven't read it yet. And then the prompt for April was to read a book that a friend has been bullying me to read. So I decided not to pick anything from my actual stack for this because I didn't have anything that really fit that. So initially I was going to choose The Lincoln Highway by Amor Towles because I have a friend that just asks me every once in a while if I've read it, but that is a chunky book. And it got to this point where I was like, I don't think that I'm going to be able to read that. So instead I ended up selecting, which kind of feels like cheating and I don't know why. No, I do know why. I'll explain. I ended up choosing Cibola Burn by James S.A. Corey, which also for April was a book that I was going to be buddy reading with my sci-fi reading group anyways, so maybe that is cheating. But I do have a friend that's way more invested in me reading this than my other friend was in me reading The Lincoln Highway. So I think that it fit in that sense a little bit more, but to be fair, I was already going to read this in April. As far as what I thought of it, I think that this is my favorite book in the Expanse series so far, which is wonderful because up to this point, it's been the first book in the series. Although all of them I've really, really enjoyed. They're all like rated very highly. This one, I think I rated a 4.5 stars, I wanna say. It's a space opera. I can't talk too much about the fourth book just because it would spoil a lot, but Earth and like humans have basically colonized the solar system that Earth is in. But because we're humans, it has created a bunch of other problems and like territory disputes. A lot of like political stuff happening, but like on a grander scale than just Earth because there are other planets and stuff involved. Okay, so because I ended up not choosing a book that was on this stack for last month, I do need to remove a book from this stack so that I have the right number going into May. If this happens for you and you need to remove a book, you can absolutely just remove whichever one you want. I like to do a random number generator just to completely keep it up to chance. So I'm gonna go ahead and click generate. 4. Okay, American Psycho is being removed. I mean, that might have been my most intimidating read on here. It's at least I think the longest. I'm a little bit sad about this leaving only because I felt like I really needed the push from TBR Spin to encourage me to read this because reading The Shards by Bret Easton Ellis last year took a lot out of me and now I'm worried about reading this one. Anyways, now I have the 8, so it's time to actually spin the wheel. Okay, I've entirely forgotten like all the prompts that exist on this thing, but here we go. A book recommendation. I don't know what the rest of it is. From ChatGPT. I wonder if you can just have ChatGPT, like if I just tell it all the books that I have and then ask it which one I should read, if that'll work. Only one way to find out. I have no idea if this is gonna work. Okay, no, it's just giving me an overview. I'm gonna say, please pick one. If I say please, maybe it'll work. Okay, I don't know if it just picked the first one that I put in there, but I'm reading Wuthering Heights this month. absolutely ridiculous way to choose a book. If you're looking for a classic that delves into themes of love, revenge, and the haunting power of the past, I'd recommend Wuthering Heights. Plus, it's a great choice if you enjoy exploring complex relationships and the darker aspects of human nature. All right. This is what's happening. I've been nervous about reading this book for a really long time, so I think that this is a good thing to just like get it done. It's time. As far as how you want ChatGPT to select your book, you can do what I did. It seems to work. Or you could ask ChatGPT for a book prompt to help you select a book to read. You could just tell it to give you a random number between the books that you have, although you could just use a random number generator for that. So I would say get creative with it. Use it however you want, but technically you can enter in all of your books and just tell it to pick for you and it will. Yeah, that is this month. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to be doing a TBR spin. It feels like a long time, even though it's just the normal amount of time, but I think it's just because I haven't uploaded anything else since the last time I spun. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please do consider subscribing. Also subscribe to Jill so that you get the notifications for the TBR Spin prompt. I know that the question has come up to have TBR Spin be earlier and not be at midnight Eastern time on the first day of the month. So hopefully this was a welcome surprise. And if you prefer this method and having time to actually put it on your TBR rather than waiting until the month starts, let us know and we can try to continue this going forward. And otherwise, I hope to see you in the Storygraph and the Discord. Bye.